Okay, so really weird thing happened today. I'm doing my morning thing, and I find out that my sweet 15-year-old niece Tylee saw us on Instagram, and I'm like, cool. I mean, she's flipping through Instagram. We come through, fine. No. Someone else reposted you, and there are people using your audio. I'm like, at the what?
And let's just say, so I'm in the school drop-off line, and I get a text from Meg, and then I drop off the kids, and then you're stopped waiting for traffic for a while. So I pick up my phone, and I look at it, and she's like, someone reposted our stuff and is using our sounds. And I was like, that's weird. And then I click on it, and it has 2.1 million views and 220,000 shares, and then a billion comments. And I was like, what the fuck? And guess what video it is, guys?
Shit.
Ship high in transit. Meg's like, I called her immediately, and then I drove past her while she was going to drop her kids off. I was like leaving the school, and I could see her cackling on the phone, and her husband was in the front seat with her, like he was laughing. And she's like, I'm never gonna live this down.
Never. This shit's gonna follow me forever.
Literally. But then I did have to send, because the creator who took it is like a decent following, like a pretty big one, especially compared to us, and like didn't credit us, so I had to be a bitch. And I was very nice about it, but I was like, hi,
my favorite one is the TikTok of somebody literally spreading manure on a farm using my audio,
which is so good. But that for me, I was like, that's warranted and so good. But that was like, because I went to go see, I was like, maybe I'll check TikTok and see if it's gone viral there too. And it obviously went viral like when we posted it, but it's starting to pick up traction again, like over the last few days.
It's just spooky season does this.
I know, but then it was hilarious because it was the guy spreading manure with Meg talking about what shit means, and it just made my day.
And then we reposted some of our ghosty pics from...
Where are we at now? 12K?
12,000. Not too bad.
Yeah.
But
it's about time to repost that kind of stuff.
We gotta get crack-a-lackin', man. It is already... I'm not supposed to date us, but we are. But it's like, as of this recording, it's September. It's time.
Yeah.
Tis time.
It is time. So in order for it to be time, you guys, when Meg showed up today, I had found these molds at Target, like ice molds, and there was one that was a witch's hat and one that was a ghosty, and I was like, oh my god, how cute. I'll make us like lunatic soup cocktails, like this is gonna be so cute.
I walk in and she's mixing in the kitchen, and she goes, don't look, I have a surprise.
So I make these ice molds, and there are these ghost ones, and I put like silver glitter in it, and I was like so excited, because I'm like,
so excited,
they're gonna look so fucking cute. And I pop them out, and Meg goes, is that a dick?
Sure did look like it.
They did, and they didn't look like a ghosty almost at all. I feel like I need to put a color in it, and it might, but even clear, I don't see how that's going to look like a ghost.
It looks like a little tip.
But then I had witches' hats, and how those...
those turned out amazing.
And those are for another cocktail another day. And
those
I want
are awesome.
A purple cocktail with the black witch's hat in it.
It looked like you had some green in that witch's hat, though.
I think it was just the food dye I used. Oh, it had like a green tint, but I'll take it. Yeah,
it was cool. Awesome. It was awesome.
But so we're finishing the failed cocktail. It was
still delicious. It's like a raspberry peach.
Yeah, it was it's technically a cosmopolitan is the recipe, but it was like raspberry vodka peach schnapps, lemon juice,
and there's glitter from the little ghosty.
And the dead sideways ghost dick.
I mean, it's fitting.
It really is fitting.
Look behind us right now. We have a skeleton and then Richard. So
my youngest went into our Halloween stuff and took our skeletons out over the weekend. And I had thrown him in here while our house cleaner was here earlier this week. And I came in to like set up the studio and get everything ready. And I was like, oh, Bob can join us. We named him Bob. He sits in our front yard at Halloween.
Bob. You also have a unicorn skeleton.
I think her
name's
name's like Nellie or Nessie or something like that. Okay. I can't remember what the kids named her. But all right. Are you ready for a joke?
That look on your face when you kind of like your shoulders come up and you're just like got this smile on your face. I know it's going to be dirty.
No, it's actually not dirty. It's so stupid, but it's funny. Like it's one of those things like you're either going to laugh or you're going to be like, that's so fucking stupid. But it's something that I thought was funny. So, and it's not dirty for once. Okay. Yeah, you're not even going to laugh. I can see it's coming. Okay. What is red and extremely bad for your teeth?
I don't know.
A flying brick. fucking not wrong.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Got that one off the good old tiki-taki.
I like that one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I like that one a lot. I liked it. Well, hello and welcome to Lunatic Soup, the podcast where we go into all things wild, weird, and unknown. We're your host, Meg.
And I'm Raina, ready to brew up some lunatic soup.
Let's go. You're my co-ghost.
Yes. Oh my God. So we were talking about TikTok, reposting stuff. I posted our ghost pictures that we took last year with where we put the sheet over ourselves.
Which I can't wait to redo that.
Which we need to discuss today what we're going to do. I feel like we need, I don't know, is it fucked up to go to a cemetery and do those?
As long as we do it respectfully.
Okay, well,
so
we'll
have to
be
talk
respectful.
we have to talk about that.
Okay. Anyways, or we'll find other ideas. Point of the story is that I posted it and I said, like in the caption, I was like, this is your sign to grab your friend / co-host and like do the ghost trend. Mm-hmm. And someone commented, her name was Ashley, I'll give her credit. She was like, you mean co-ghost? How did you miss that? And I'm like, how did I miss
you miss
it?
that? I mean, it was pretty freaking good.
And then I posted another video of like the pictures that weren't shared and said you're co-ghost. And co-ghost is like, that's
co-ghost.
fucking, and you are now my co-ghost.
Co-ghost. Hello, co-ghost.
Hi, co-ghost.
Yay!
Yay! We are co-ghosts.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Perfect for spooky season, co-ghosts.
Seriously.
What are we drinking today, Megan?
Okay, so, I mean, if you haven't heard the news, one of our absolute favorites, Schilling Cider, I was getting nervous because we're already into September and I haven't seen my all-time favorite cider. And so I was like, what's going on? And then they announced that they're having a new seasonal one. And I was like, oh no, are they going to get rid of it?
Yeah.
Which they're not. They just redid the can. And I'll save it for when we can find it because I couldn't find it. But like,
we even sent Mr.
out,
Boo Boo to the store and it wasn't there yet. So.
I went out looking. He went out when he was coming back from work. But I did find this that we haven't had before. It's a Schilling's Excelsior Berry Massive.
Berry Massive. And it has their
Berry
signature giraffe on the front. Mm-hmm. Berry Massive. I love Berry Massive.
It does show that it's on the sweeter side. Like it's like mid to slightly sweet. So we'll see. We'll see how this is. But it is, it's a whopping 8.4. So hold on to your butts.
We haven't had an unhinged episode for a long time.
I mean, it's
guys,
fine.
So
it
is time.
It's been a stressful few weeks. I feel like getting everybody back to school and all that fun stuff. So
it's been chaos.
Tis time.
Meg's had a migraine too, so I was like,
for 6 days, you guys.
Yeah.
6 days.
Like nothing better but some high ABV cider.
I had to get a shot in my ass.
Yeah, that's how bad
it
literally hold on to your butt.
I'm like, because I do not like going to the doctor at all. But finally, I'm like, okay, this is too much, and they're like, let's try to stop it, which it did not stop it.
Well, so when you told me that you went to the doctor and got a shot in your ass, I was like, it must be fucking bad because you are not.
I do not know.
Yeah, that's not all right. Real fast.
So we'll see if this just spins me right back to a migraine.
Ooh. That's really good.
That's really good.
It's definitely sweet, but it's like not too sweet.
No, but it's very dangerous because you don't really taste that it's alcohol.
It tastes like fucking delightful.
It tastes like a juice box,
Do you know what would make it taste really good?
What?
Fireball! But I feel like Fireball would make it taste like a pie. Like a bramble, if you will.
I don't think I have any Fireball. Do you have any?
I only have it on Lester, and Lester went MIA. I'm pretty sure the kids played with Lester.
Lester!
I think he's under the chair, but it has been a lot of effort to try and find him.
I'm gonna freaking find Lester.
Okay. Oh God.
This is one of those moments.
Oh God, Meg. Meg, we're stealing Lester's Fireball.
Maybe he's missing person.
Lester's missing,
along with the Fireball.
So I do believe that it is completely and totally my nephew's fault.
Poor Lester.
Poor us.
We'll find Lester. And I'm sorry, Lester. We really just wanted the Fireball. Oh. Really hot. It's really hot. Speaking of a witch's tit.
Yes.
I saw something on TikTok, and I'm very cautious when I hear things.
Yes.
But I gave it a goog.
Yeah.
And there is some truth to it. Why were witches depicted as riding brooms? I almost sent this to the group chat, but I didn't.
I actually heard this before. God damn it. And I know it. I heard this like a year ago or 2 years ago. I feel like we talked about it at one point. But anyways, go, because I cannot recall.
So, witches, or women, were really, who worked with herbs and stuff, right? Because witches / women were healers, all that stuff. Outliers, they were magic, but it was really herbs. One of the herbs they worked with was belladonna. And belladonna has hallucinogenic properties.
Yeah.
So you could ingest that, but there's other areas of the body where it absorbs so much faster. And so what they would do is grind it up with something like a witch's broom and then use that as an applicator of sorts.
Definitely have never heard this.
And they'd be out in the woods hallucinating, riding around on their brooms, having a grand... To them, they were flying. But to the rest of... And I looked it up. Now, is this 100% this is the reason? No. But it leads to it, and it goes into, like, Shakespearean times, and there's, like, recorded instances of this happening. And
what's that joke that I said about witches? Why don't witches wear underwear?
Better grip. So
some truth to it.
It's like my shit story.
It is like your shit story. Damn. They used it as a hallucinogenic tampon, if you will. Or a dick. But not a flaccid one, apparently.
You can't see it, but she's doing the wrist thing.
You can if you're watching the YouTube.
If you're looking at YouTube, which one of my best friends, Kemish, was exercising today, and she had it on as she was on her treadmill, and I'm just like, yay. So she's watching.
I do think about it sometimes because, like, sometimes, like, one of us will be on our phone, and we're not, like, not paying attention, but there'll be like a catastrophe happening, or like
because we still have 7 children between us,
or like we'll be Googling something that someone said and it looks like we're not paying attention. And so I always wonder, I'm like, people who just watch the YouTube, they're probably like, these bitches. Well, it's mostly me because I'm the most.
If you are watching and if you remember our flaccid, but look at when my wrist does it and then versus your wrist. Do you like
it's because I'm pretty positive I have this thing called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which has to do with like loose joints and like things dislocate and all kinds of shit. So I'm pretty
it's like rubber. Mine looks like a hand, yours looks like
and then with my bingo arms. That's a combo right there.
I do that too. Bingo.
You have muscle. She works out. I don't.
Anyways.
Okay.
What are we talking about today?
Okay. Today is a wild, weird, and unknown.
We haven't done one in a long time.
No. And for those of you who don't know, Wild, Weird, and Unknown is where we read stories from Reddit. And
all the things wild, weird, and unknown.
Yeah.
No, we did do like this versus that for a little while, but it got hard to find things that were like similar but different.
Right. And so we just decided to stick with the same thing and
we'll just read stories. So today is... I lived in a haunted house.
Which is so good.
I want to live in a haunted house. I think I do live in a haunted house.
I think everyone has haunted.
I think everyone's in a haunted house, but there's been stuff happening in my house lately that I'm pretty sure there's some...
I don't know necessarily that your house is haunted or that you are, unbeknownst to you, welcoming things in and they're hanging out. Yeah.
It's me.
That's what happens to me. My house is definitely not haunted. But did I, last night I was laying in bed and Tex was working late and I was watching TV and I thought he had come back inside and because I felt like someone walked up behind me and I was positive it was him or it was Kinley because it felt to me like not a child like when you just know something
when there's and
I turned and no one was sitting there and I was like, I fucking hate that. I fucking hate it.
There's been things. So I guess you would call it an altar and a friend of all the people that have died in my life in the last 2 years. It's a lot.
There's been a few.
And so I have this with their pictures and a little memento of them in my hallway upstairs. And I have these, those little glow in the dark aliens from Temu.
Yeah.
I have them on it just because I tried to scare my kid with them once and it worked. But now I have them on, they're just kind of sitting on, an urn. And they keep flying off. Not just falling off, horizontally flying
I feel
off.
like Dawn isn't a fan.
My mother?
Yeah.
She doesn't like the little aliens?
I don't think so.
Well, too bad, Mom. It's my house. So
let's see. I don't know. Go make a statement to that and see if it stops.
Go make it tell my mother you'd live with my little alien friends.
I just want to see
if it stops.
That was the first thing that came to my head was that it was she's like, nope.
Well, my house and
My rules.
it is what it is.
I mean, fair enough. I like it. All right.
So,
You first?
yeah,
You
go
go
first. I'll go first.
So then I can figure out if we have the same story.
That's the problem is we don't like
Well, we don't cross-reference.
look at them beforehand. Like, I mean, we look at them beforehand, but we don't check with each other.
Yeah.
All right. So this is from Tiff on Redditors who have lived in a haunted house. In 2012, my stepfather overdosed on heroin and dropped dead in the hallway in his condo apartment. My mom had to move out shortly after since they were already behind on mortgage bills. A few months later, my lease went up and I was barely making ends meet and couldn't find a new roommate. My mom offered me the key to the condo apartment to, quote, squat for a few months until I saved up enough for my own apartment. I took the offer and moved into the condo apartment. After a month or so, I was asleep in the room and I had this dream of my stepfather standing in the hallway facing the living room. He was looking at me and smiling / laughing. Even made a stupid joke and everything. It wasn't disturbing at all, just bittersweet. Then I suddenly woke up and felt some pressure stroking down my head and back. There was nothing around me and it tripped me the hell out. As a skeptical person that doesn't believe in the paranormal, it has to be some kind of sensory hallucination. It was still nice to see him in my dream. Made me tear up to this day.
No.
That's sweet.
I don't know about haunted, but I'll just say
We'll take that.
it sounds like someone's coming to visit you.
It seems more like a visit than anything.
That's what I think. That doesn't sound like you live in a haunted house. That's like haunted house to me is equals like poltergeist activity, scare, like something intentionally trying to scare you. And I think that's where when people are like, "Oh, my house is haunted," that to me is the difference. Is that like a haunting to me is like a ghosty, but is someone who is like, get the fuck out. I don't want you here. Someone who's not nice. That's what I consider to be a haunted house. Just personally.
Okay.
Because I feel like as someone like, which we both have medium abilities in some way, like we know that they are everywhere. That
literally
everywhere. And so that's why when you say like, I think my house is haunted, it's like, no, but
they're
like,
just around.
They're just around.
Yeah.
And so I think there are certain places that they are around. Or like, I guess when we did the bars that we did the other week with Sisters Brew, like they're haunted by the same people all the time, whatever. Where for you and I don't necessarily feel like it's the same people. I feel like things
That's true.
like
That's a
beings
solid
come
point.
and go.
So it's more they're around us than the house itself, than the location.
Yes.
Now, there's Tamed Wild on Instagram. Love her to death. And like her account is amazing. She's an amazing person. She boasts that her house is like a bed and breakfast for spirits. And she has resident spirits. I believe the main one's name is like Sarah or something. That I would call a haunting.
Yeah, I'll call that a haunted too. Like haunting. Yeah. Someone who like lingers, like this was their house, their property, you're there. And not like doesn't have to be scary. Like it doesn't need to be scary or someone trying to get you out, but they're like, this is their place.
Yeah.
They're not just
You have to figure out how to coexist
with them. Yeah. And they make themselves known, I feel like. So I don't know. That's my take on a haunting. Okay. Well, all right. So this one is from Henry Bellendry from a year ago.
Okay.
All right. We lived in a haunted house until I was about 8 or 9. It taunted us, for lack of a better way of describing it. It was an upside down house built on a hill. So, okay. I first I didn't understand what he was saying. So you entered on the top floor and went downstairs to the bedrooms on the
so like the front of the house it made it look like it was like a
rambler,
single level house, but then it went down the back.
Yep.
Okay.
There, because I was confused for a second too. Okay. Went downstairs for bedrooms and the second bathroom. At night, we'd sometimes hear footsteps as if someone was walking around up there. One time, it was so bad, on and off for like 10 minutes, that my mom and brother, obviously from the UK, or
a lot of mine are from the UK too.
Well, that makes sense. I feel like a lot of older.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true.
Went upstairs to investigate, but no one was there. So at one point, it made a doll come alive and then had it lean out over my wardrobe to watch me run out of the room. So, okay. And wardrobe, yeah, that's UK or
I don't like
Australia.
Something leaning over to watch you out of a room.
Me either. Other things that happened, not just to me, but it was a low income housing and my single mother couldn't afford to move us. So we just went along with it until we could afford to move. Last time I visited my hometown, I went and stood outside. The house still felt awful. even from a safe distance. I wouldn't say it gave me anxiety, but it's made me a believer and nervous to be careful around the supernatural. As awful as that house was, I'd still be open to taking a peek inside again, obviously not alone. So then there's like a lot of comments on it. And a lot of people saying that like ghosts have made their dolls come alive or their kids' dolls.
That's where I'm out.
And like when I was reading that, I was like, what the fuck? So, I mean, making a doll come alive, that's poltergeist.
Yeah.
Unless the doll itself was haunted, which that is an option.
Right, but that's typically like more of a demonic thing, not like a ghosty.
Is it?
I mean, I guess it could go either
Because
way.
I don't know. I feel like
maybe we should do another demon episode so I can figure this out.
Or we could do an episode on haunted dolls.
There you go. We haven't done Annabelle yet, have we? We haven't done Annabelle, but we've done Robert the doll.
Yeah, we did Robert.
And we've talked about Annabelle in the Conjuring house.
Yes. I don't know that I would want to do Annabelle.
Do you want to go see Annabelle?
I feel like our Wild, Weird, and Unknown episode next should be about like haunted dolls.
I have our next watch party.
What?
Oh my gosh. It's going to be Greg and Dana Newkirk on a haunted object.
Oh,
that I got to see like a preview of the movie and like hear the whole story from them like 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, that's what we're going to do.
But you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen the full length thing.
Done.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm excited.
I'm really glad I gave you that idea. You're welcome for that. I'm just so good over here.
Okay, so we have one LT obvious on the Tickety Talks. This is going to be, you're going to love this.
Okay.
I lived in a house that seemed to be haunted by a, quote, doppelganger.
Oh, fuck.
Every event that happened never involved some mysterious figure, but a known person being in a place where they should not have been. Here are a few examples. Here's a lot of examples. I was a teenager at the time, and I was instant messaging my girlfriend at the time with my webcam turned on. I had the viewer up so that I could see myself in the webcam. Behind me, there was stairs leading up left of the camera view and the entrance to the living room, right of the camera view. My younger sister would typically fall asleep every night on the couch in front of the TV and make her way up to bed in the middle of the night. At one point in my webcam view, I saw my sister leave the living room and go up the stairs. The thing that struck me as odd was that I didn't hear anything. It was an old Victorian house, so the wooden floor and stairs were loud. Without saying anything to my girlfriend, I got up and looked into the living room, and there was my sister passed out on the couch. I sat back down and asked my girlfriend if she had seen anything in the camera, and she said, "Yeah, I just saw your sister go up the stairs."
I don't like it.
I've experienced that before in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Tex came, I was laying in your bed, and Tex came up through the landing.
Yeah.
And into your daughter's room, and then Tex came home.
Yeah.
And my family was all getting ready to go somewhere. I was sitting in the car with my mom, and we were waiting on my sister who was still in the house. After a bit, she comes out and gets in the car and just looks at me like, "What the fuck?" I asked her what's wrong, and she says that just before she walked out of the house, she thought I was still inside, so she yelled up the stairs, my name, "We're leaving." And apparently I, in quotes, yelled back, "Okay, I'll be down in a minute."
That's
the mimic thing.
I was just about to say is that like more mimic, I guess, than that's mimic.
There's a lot of mimic stuff going around TikTok right now.
I know, it's scary when you get on that shit.
Yeah,
Especially, there's one girl who talks about Appalachia all the time, and she has a lot of video of mimic shit with her husband. I've sent it to you before. We talked about it last year, and that to me is like hard to like.
Maybe our next Wild, Weird, and Unknown will be mimics.
Oh yeah, okay. That actually scares me. I think that's the one thing that like really terrifies me.
Mimics.
Yeah,
it's like, how are you supposed to know?
And to hear someone like
you hear your kid as a mother,
your first instinct is to react.
Yeah. I don't know. The ones that I see on TikTok, I have a really hard time believing because it is so easy to fake.
Right. There's so many things. We've faked shit before on TikTok. Not like anything that we always reveal if we fake something.
Oh,
but
you can tell if we're making a TikTok, if it's real, we're going to come on here and say, no, we experienced that.
I mean, we obviously haven't done anything of significance, but yeah.
No, just like, oh, a door open. There's no one inside when you're on your hands and knees underneath.
Fishing wire, man. I did fishing string for it.
Another one. My mom woke up to someone tapping her foot, and she said someone was standing at the end of her bed who, quote, faded out after a couple of seconds. She said it looked just like me. I had an encounter where I woke up and felt like someone was under my covers laying up against me. When I said something, my blanket visibly deflated, and I no longer felt anything. I include this with doppelgangers because though I didn't see what I felt under the blanket, it laid like my girlfriend would lay on top of me. When I was 22, I was in the military and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It still took a year after the diagnosis to separate from the military, but I went home on leave for the holidays about a month after the diagnosis. Anyone that has insulin-dependent diabetes typically carries around some sort of kit. Mine is black zip-up pouch with a glucometer, insulin pen, needles, and alcohol pads. Right after I left home and to head back from leave, my mom texts me to ask if I'm missing my diabetic kit. I look and I'm not. She sends me a picture of a diabetic kit and asks if I knew what it is. I've never seen this kit before in my life. Apparently, my sister went into her bedroom and discovered it outside of her window, propped up like someone had set it there. Also, her bedroom is on the second floor and no one else in the house has diabetes.
I don't like that.
I like this first comment. Sounds like your sister might be haunted. Are you sure she's real?
Dun, dun, dun. The diabetes.
Diabetes. Which is very serious.
It is serious. We're not making fun of diabetes.
No, but
the guy who says diabetes on the commercials.
Yeah.
If you live in Australia or any other country, you won't know. But if you're American, you know.
Oh, you know.
The diabetes. Wild. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Well, speaking of haunted, where they're saying maybe your sister's haunted, my house isn't haunted, but my girlfriend is.
Okay.
All right. She claims that there is a large black being that always follows her around. When she is going to sleep in the dark, she can feel it stroke her hair. Some mornings she'll wake up with scratches or bruises or handprints. She has these glow-in-the-dark star stickers all over her drawers and one on her closet door. Just one about 6.5 feet up. I've seen it flicker on and off in the middle of the night, which if you know what those are, that can't flicker. It's like those, you know what a star sticker is? Like that you put on the ceiling, those don't flicker.
No, they don't flicker because they're glow in the dark.
Past it. So a glow-in-the-dark sticker shouldn't flicker. That's what he says, obviously. The only way a sticker could turn on and off is if someone or something is standing or walking by it. One night, we were in bed after lights had been turned off, and I felt her roll over and put her arm across me. This was odd because she has never been the big spoon. But I figured I would let it happen. Even though the lights were out, through the glow of the iPhone chargers and the standby lights of various electronics, I was able to make out an arm wrapped around my chest. I reclosed my eyes and went to grab her hand, but I missed, and I looked again and saw nothing. I rolled back and looked over at my girlfriend, and she was all the way on the other side of the bed, with her back to me. So, basically, I got spooned by a something.
Oh.
Sir, I think your house might be haunted, not just her. Or something. Someone's there. Someone's hanging out with you.
Yeah. So one time I did wake up and there was a hand on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Scared the shit out of me. Turns out my arm just fell asleep.
Oh my God. I mean, that's...
But I couldn't feel it.
Don't you hate that? Like when that, in the middle of the night when it falls asleep and you can't, like your arm's like... And then it comes back to life and it like is so uncomfortable. I have gotten touched by ghosts in the middle of the night numerous times. Like we used to have. I feel like it was Pickle Rick who used to always touch.
Pickle Rick
and
is
then he
gone now.
But he disappeared. So I don't get touched. Like it will happen occasionally, maybe. But like it was like a nightly thing where I could feel him. I knew he was there. I'd feel him like sit on the side of my bed. He would touch people who spent the night over here. Like
yep, I remember hearing that
so many times. I do wonder if he is associated at all with that like Viking hat that was in my closet. Do you remember my sister made me take that out? I don't know if that coincides with the timing of everything.
Where's the Viking hat?
It's in the garage.
Bring it back.
I am interested. I feel like we should do something with it.
Bring it back.
Because it has like real bone on it and stuff. Like I don't even know where it's from. It's from my grandparents, but like I don't know where they got it from.
Let's do an experiment.
We could do that tonight.
An haunted objects experiment.
Why can't we?
I like
all
it.
this stuff.
Okay.
I'm into it.
All right. This is from Freya627. They say a house, the land, an object, or a person can be haunted. I don't know which it is, but when I was 8 to 11 years old, we lived in a trailer park near the woods and a place where a lot of people hike by these falls and hiking trails. It was a small trailer park of just 5 trailers. Years later, when I was 11, the state bought the land, and it's now preserved land in central New York. Anyway, when I was 10, I saw a shadow figure, although at the time I didn't know what the hell it was, move down the hall from my room to another. My dad worked nights, and my mom was across the street babysitting. She blew it off as wind and curtains blowing, but even then, I knew it wasn't the case. One time, my dad, who never believed in, quote, that nonsense, was sitting at our kitchen table with his friend, and they heard some footsteps coming down the hall toward them. They said it sounded like heavy work boots. No one was there. My mom said she'd smell lilacs and had her bed sheets tugged on. I saw a face floating in the kitchen window, which was located too high for a person to stand. My dad had a nervous breakdown in that place. We moved that trailer from the spot to another location, and nothing ever occurred again. I'd like to note that my mom practiced powwow witchcraft and had held a couple of seances with a Ouija board there. I've never experienced anything else ever. 30 years later, my sister, who never lived there, she was 20 years older than me, we were talking about our mom, memories in that place. She mentioned seeing a shadow figure in the same hallway, and my hair stood up on the back of my head.
Yep. I mean, okay, you want to haunt a place? Get a Ouija board and don't do it properly. And, you know, I mean, I feel like this takes me back so much to like our stories that we did at the haunted farmers market, because so many of them were like experiences that they had at like so many similar to this.
And those are the best. These are the best stories because I mean, a lot of these stories you can't find a whole episode worth. That's why I love.
Well, this is a short one, short and sweet. 2 neighbors have died in the apartment next door, but I only had a ghostly encounter with one. That was when I was 4 years old in the 90s. I used to play with the deceased woman's kid all the time, and she would watch over us. This is while she was alive. She died in a really bad car accident. A few nights after she passed, I saw her when I looked up while laying in bed. Oh. She was smiling down at me and calling me to her. I looked toward the bedroom door because my grandma was on her way to the room, and when I looked up, she was gone. Okay, so he looked away and then looked up. She was gone. I never saw her ghost again. When I told my family, they were afraid and they took me to see a priest.
Okay.
The neighbors moved in next door and have told us they've seen her walking around the apartment, or a strong perfume scent would suddenly appear in some areas. The wife died of breast cancer in 2012, but she had told us that the woman appeared to her several times with a sad expression. After she was diagnosed, she took it as the ghost woman warning her of what was to happen. If that makes sense. The neighbors would see her with a sad face, and this woman died of a car accident, which is sad.
I don't like the looking up and seeing something part.
Me either.
No.
At all.
Mm-mm.
I got an 1800s house. You got a good one?
I got one.
Okay.
You do that one after.
Okay.
The house I grew up in from birth to 20 years old had something going on. It sat in the middle of 1 acre, and there was no other house close to it. Small town, very quiet area where you don't hear traffic. At night, when everyone went to bed, we would sometimes hear voices coming from the front of the house, the living room area. You couldn't make out what they were saying, but it was definitely people talking. Kind of like a TV on in the other room. If you walked down the hall towards it, it would always stop. My dad, who was super devout Christian and absolutely does not believe in ghosts, admitted once that he heard the voices and had gone down the hall to the front of the house thinking someone had left the TV on, but it was off. This was before the internet, so it couldn't be blamed on electronics. He was so puzzled about it. It really didn't scare me, but one night in my late teens, I had a friend spend the night. After everyone went to bed, we were in my room talking, and she mentioned my parents being up so late. I told her, nope, they're in bed. That's our ghost. She got up, walked down the hall, saw that nobody was up, came running back into my bedroom and said, dude. She refused to ever sleep over after that. I guess that's what traumatized me. My friend wouldn't spend the night anymore.
I mean, that's fair.
That is fair.
But also, like, something like that makes me wonder if, you know, that theory that we've talked about that, like, we are the ghosts to them, or maybe there's another timeline, or
Another timeline.
you know, if there's like a bunch of voices, like you never, like you just don't know
what's
like,
going on. Yeah.
Was like the house older and it was like people from like on a different timeline from the future or past, or like, is it ghosties? Is it like, there's so many things. Wild.
There's so many things. And like the timeline thing, I just finished The Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's all about different timelines. Like it can really mess up your head if you try to think too much
I feel
on
like
it.
that's one of those you have to really pay attention to, and I struggle with that unless I'm like doing something very like folding laundry, like something mundane where my hands are busy, but like I'm able to like listen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Otherwise, I get too ADHD, and I'm like, I need to be doing something or coloring. I'm a good colorer.
Fair.
All right. So not my current house, but one I grew up in. It was built in the late 1800s, which for America is pretty old. There was always some sort of activity. Nothing ever seemed to harbor any malice, but it was definitely present. Had I been the only one experiencing things, I would have chalked it up to me being crazy. However, there was almost always someone else around to verify what had just occurred. That's rare. That like it for anybody.
Well, it's like the friend who heard the voices too.
Yeah, that's it. But it's like usually you don't have an experience with someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which when you do, it's like when we all heard that like hissing noise at Ording Manor.
All of us
heard it, and then we got it on things like that was legit. Okay, that happened. Anyways, we had the classic someone's on the stairs, but it was coupled with footsteps running. And once they reached the second floor, you'd often see things from the corner of your eye and just dismiss it until it would circle back and you'd get a better look.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. In particular, there was a little girl who would frequent the doorway upstairs. She was about the height of the doorknob and would peek in and then run away. I'd often have friends over and I'd notice their gaze lock on the door. I'd ask if they saw someone and they'd describe her to a T without me giving any descriptors. Had an encounter with a shadow figure there as well, and there's always a sort of energy there, and you never felt alone. I lived in another house, and it was haunted after this one. Or that was haunted after this one. Not sure if I'm susceptible or something more is going on. Maybe we packed something and it came along with us for the move.
Ooh.
I feel like someone said like, because that reminds me of stuff that like happens to us, like shadow figures, little things where like I've seen a little girl before that, but I know it's not in my house. It's something that's like visiting me. Like like we said, you're a lighthouse.
You're a lighthouse. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. Both my houses growing up were haunted. First house is located in what is now a suburb of Houston, but before it was pasture land going back to the 1840s. There was a ghost of a little girl in the house. My mom saw it once. Said she turned around inside her walk-in closet and a girl in an old-fashioned nightgown was standing in the doorway just watching her. I never saw her, but when I was young, there was an incident in the mid-90s where I woke up at night and heard laughing coming from the living room. It was a girl and it was getting closer. It got closer and closer and I just hid under the covers. The laughter was in my room when it ended. It just sounded like a happy kid playing and laughing, but I was scared nevertheless. Next house, I'm a teenager, early 2000s. More activity here. My parents bought the house from friends of my mom's parents. The first night in the house, I put up some posters. I remember waking up and thinking someone was in my room. I sat up, looked around, and heard one of my posters being moved around. It was tacked in, and I watched as the bottom of the poster pulled straight up, and the bottom two tacks in the corners flew across the room. I said, "Holy shit," and turned on my lamp, and it was over. No poster ever did that again. I would routinely get a feeling of someone in the room with me as long as that was my room. Same house, everyone in the family had an experience of seeing a man walking up our driveway, but if you blinked, he was gone. Happened all the time. It wasn't a car going by, wasn't some weird trick of the light. You could turn and look out the window and there would be a guy walking up the driveway, but blink and he'd be gone. Finally, also same house, we'd be downstairs watching TV. The floor upstairs squeaked. It was an old house. And if you walked over certain spots, it squeaked distinctly. And we'd hear footsteps thumping and floor squeaking regularly. There's my word.
Favorite.
I didn't find out until later that the previous owner had died in the house and his widow had sold us the home. My mom, who didn't talk about the ghost, later said she believed it was him. Anyways, nothing really bad at the house either, but kind of scary for a kid.
Okay.
It's a little scary. The The tax flying off?
That would scare me as an adult.
Yeah.
Not just a kid.
What the hell?
No, I would be scared.
You would be scared.
That level, I don't think I've had like poltergeist activity to that extreme. Like I've had little things that happen that like
where you see something physically moving.
Yeah, but we're like that we're small that you're like, okay, it could have been something else, so I'm not positive. Or you can kind of like but that kind of thing
where
like,
you could like
maybe.
Yeah.
But that to me is that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I feel like that would scare me. I like the comments on this one. Well, this is good too, but I'm gonna read it because it goes into Faye.
The Faye
After. But okay. So a single soon-to-be mom moved in above us. She was distressed and nervous because her baby's father had given her the good news that he found someone to give her an abortion at 7 months along. She was worried he'd find her and spent a lot of her time getting stoned on her balcony trying to calm her nerves. I've always wondered if her getting stoned while pregnant brought on what came next.
Huh.
Okay.
There's a story in itself.
Right. She had her baby, and one night around 2 or 3 a.m., she pounded on our door and ran inside with her baby, looking absolutely scared out of her mind. She was terrified. She said that she was woken up to a shadowy man pinning her down and yelling at her in German or Russian. She wasn't sure. She knew he wasn't real because he was just a shadow, and he was gone as quickly as he arrived. That sounds like sleep paralysis or something.
It does.
And she never felt okay there after that. She found a new man and moved in with him. I would feel watched, but no malevolence when I was home alone. I'd sometimes have icy cold air blown straight up the line of my back and legs after showering, but I stopped when I hollered out, and it would stop when I yelled that I was getting goosebumps. The neighbors across the hall were a young married couple, and I knew well for years before being their neighbor. One time the neighbor tripped her breakers using too many outlets, so my husband and I went to the dirt cellar to flip them back on. There was depressions in the soil, spaced and sized evenly. That looked so much like graves.
Was there a well?
That I can't imagine what else they would have been. I also found an old teensy small wooden crutch and a glass bottle from the 1800s while we were down there. The landlord of the house planned for and knew there was paranormal activity here. I wish I had kept a copy of the lease showing no lease breaking due to unexplainable paranormal phenomenon clause. There you go with that.
Clause. Okay.
Clause. So Northern European people used to believe in house spirits, fake creatures that would become attached to the household in certain families.
Okay.
There's a story of a family who decided to pack up and move because of the kobold in their house. Kobold. Kobold? I've never heard that before, but yeah. As they're getting ready to leave, they hear it say from behind the wagon, "Here we go." I think it stayed with them. Interesting.
Oh, kobold were aggressive, insular, yet industrious small humanoid creatures. They were noted for their skill at building traps and preparing ambushes. They look like a little mini dragon.
Oh, they do. They're like a lizard dragon thing.
Yeah. All right.
My aunt's old house was haunted. Randomly, but at least twice a week, you could hear big animals or dog get up and run across the hardwood floor. Also barking. You could hear a dog barking, but there was no dog in the house or near it. So a dog ghost.
A doggy ghost.
Which we've heard of animals being ghosties too.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially ghost cats.
Yep.
Okay, well, I can't find the one I tried. Okay, this might end up being long-winded. I live in a townhouse sort of apartment. We had the middle of the 3-unit building. Out of the 6 years we lived there, for whatever reason, we only had neighbors to either side, not even a quarter of the time. At any rate, I experienced a whole rash of weirdness off and on. Seemed like a series of weird events over the course of a few days to a week, then nothing out of the ordinary for a month or so. Some of the things definitely creeped me out, especially when it came to the shower, when it was in the shower or bath. Once I was sitting in the tub, and suddenly I felt like someone flicked me hard on the back of the shoulder. It stung like a bastard and was accompanied by an audible snapping or slapping noise. I looked everywhere for a bug or something amiss, and there was nothing there. Another time while I was in the shower curtain was pushed into my hip and held there for a moment with pressure, like someone's hand was lightly pushing onto me. Thinking it was my husband, I flung the curtain open to invite hubby in, and there was nothing and nobody there. The final straw on the bathroom situation that led me into doing some kitchen witchery, that absolutely helped, by the way, was the night that the electric razor came on by itself while secured in the medicine cabinet. My husband said at the time that it was just gravity and that he was going back to sleep. ... Gravity. Laughing face. Anyway, I didn't want our, quote, visitors to screw with the kids. My daughter, 3 at the time, had asked me about a white man while pouting in an empty corner. While pointing to an empty corner. Sorry. Our mess with the bathroom or any part of the upstairs. Let me start that part over again.
Yep.
Anyway, I didn't want our visitors to screw with the kids. My daughter, 3 at the time, had asked me about a, quote, white man while pointing to an empty corner. Or mess with the bathroom or any part of our upstairs. So I burned a bunch of sage, laid down some sea salt mixed with fresh rosemary and garlic that, of course, sat in the full moon, and set some verbal boundaries, too. I didn't experience too many strange things like that upstairs from then on, aside from the linen closet creaking itself shut one morning. More on that later. The very last thing I experienced there, it was quiet. It was quiet and not weird for almost an entire year. I was laying on my belly in bed and playing with my laptop. I felt what I thought was my cat jump up on the bed right between my legs, so I attempted to lightly capture her with my ankles, and there was nothing there. The door was closed, and the cat wasn't even in the room. This sort of thing has always fascinated me so much that I used to go out all the time to alleged haunted places, and it landed me a decade-long job as a ghost hunt guide and eventual manager at a former mental asylum. That's awesome! The linen closet door thing, I think it's possible that one of, quote, them followed me home from the asylum as I'd just gotten home from guiding a ghost hunt there. Thought it was a kid at first, or maybe my husband, but didn't hear anyone walking around, so I poked my head out into the hall, and the door to the closet, which just by default was always open, closed shut. I told it to cut that shit out and go home. Sometimes while still living there, I suppose that working at the asylum or piddling around in all of these other places with my voice recorder and, quote, broken radio, that she means like a Frank's box.
Oh,
broken
yeah,
radio thing,
yeah.
was bringing them to me. That is until I've lived in 3 different places since and have not experienced really any weird shit at all, except footsteps across my current dining room a few years ago. You guessed it, following a ghost hunt from the asylum. Again, I just told it to quit, and it did. That brings me to the traumatizing part of our post. I retired from telling ghost stories, dark history, and babysitting tourists while they spent the night at an asylum in January of 2021. I often told people that I'd felt like I'd gotten out of a toxic relationship with a building. I knew that it was taking a toll on me, and I'd be irritable, sad for no reason, and I don't know, maybe oppressed would be a good word for it. Others on staff would go through bouts of the same, and sometimes we would all, coincidentally or not, be stricken by a run of generally unlucky bullshit. We called it a paranormal hangover. Anyway, I didn't fully realize while being fully immersed in it how shitty it was making my quality of life. After resigning, I felt as though a weight had been lifted. I am way more even-tempered, mostly in good spirits, and feel better in general. For quite some time afterwards, it was like nails on a chalkboard if someone wanted to talk about asylum stuff with me, but even that has improved. Sometimes I still dream of being there, but not that badly.
Damn.
So I don't know if her house was haunted per se,
No,
or she was just bringing
I feel
stuff
like
home
she was
with her.
that sounds like she was bringing stuff home.
Yeah.
But also, like, I feel like there is that level of, if you are a person who experiences it and you kind of like already aware in the paranormal world to an extent, and you're able to be like, knock it the fuck off.
Yeah. I do that.
Yeah, so do I. Like, I tell them just straight up, go away. Like,
Yeah.
that's enough.
Especially if my kids are like, Mom, I heard this or I heard that, and I'll just go into the room and be like, stop it.
Yeah, don't fuck with my kids.
No, never with the kids.
And we have boundaries in our house. We don't fuck with the kids. But I get fucked with, but whatever. Rude.
Better you than the kids.
Better me than the kids. Well, damn. I mean, those were some good ones.
Those were good. It's
But
fun.
I do think that it's a variety of, like, you know, you listen to it and it's like, my house is haunted, but then you and I are like, but is it the house or is it you?
Yeah.
Like, and
That
and
last
not,
one was definitely
and
her.
not necessarily that you're haunted. That you just are a lighthouse. If you
a lighthouse.
will.
You have some medium abilities.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I feel like a haunting is something is like a reoccurrence of the same thing, like that everyone knows.
Something lives there.
Something lives there. That
or
is
unlives there.
true. All right. Well, Well,
shit.
shit. How y'all doing?
How y'all doing?
My children got redneck names, by the way.
Oh, what are they?
Well, you see, my BFF Jenna, she has a mullet wig that comes out with some pit viper sunglasses, and when she does, her name's Tammy.
I would like to see this wig because I feel like Jessica could use a little bit of some styling with this wig.
I'm just saying that I feel like this might, you know, when we were discussing earlier ordering props.
Oh, is Tammy gonna join us? Tammy?
Well, no, but you and I need mullet wigs. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, but Kinley, my oldest name is Trish.
That tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And then the Kyler's name is Tamifer, or if you will, Mini Tam.
Tam?
Tam Jr.
I like it. I like it.
So, you know, you could see some mullet wigs. I feel like they might be coming our way.
Did you already order them?
No, not yet. Are they in my cart, though? Possibly. Have I been debating? Why not?
And here I brought pumpkin faces. And you're getting...
With mullet wigs. A twofer.
Lord.
It's a twofer.
It's a twofer.
A twofer.
It's a twofer.
Well,
oh, man. Happy spooky season, guys.
You guys, we are going to be at the Ording Manor. We are actually going there next week to do promo photos. Or this week, actually. This is going to air. We will have already done them.
We would have already done them because we're in the past, but present and future.
Yes, we're doing them. And I will be photographing for the event for the, you know...
it's going to be a fun event, guys.
The whatever it is, the advertising.
Tickets are limited, but if you can...
There's only 50 people. They're having like flash tattoos, permanent jewelry, drinks, all kinds of super fun stuff.
I'm not getting
Meg's
a tattoo.
going to get her first tattoo.
I'm not going to get
Meg
a tattoo.
is getting...
Absolutely not.
Meg's getting lunatic soup on her ass.
It takes... it takes me 8 months to pick out paint color. I am not getting a flash tattoo.
I'm going to get a few ciders in her. And then Jessica's going to come out and be like, slap that shit right on my ass cheek. Tell me I'm wrong. Anyways, I'm not getting a flash tattoo. They're flash tattoos, which flash tattoo means it's like they have a bunch of designs you have to choose from. You can't.
No,
and so if it wasn't that, I would get a tattoo there just for fun. But I like my tattoos to be meaningful, and that's not.
That's not meaningful to me.
Except for a lunatic soup on your ass might be.
No.
I think it's a good idea.
No.
I could cover the spot where you got your shot in your ass.
Thank you, Rita.
A bullseye?
For the next time I have a migraine. Just put it right there.
Just right there on the bullseye.
Right there. That's where it goes.
X marks the spot. Did you miss me?
I did.
I know you did.
I did.
Oh, God. Anyways, but we're going to be there, and we are going to go reinvestigate Ording Manor. And we investigated it last year. We're going to reinvestigate this year to see what more we can get. But Meg and I are the entertainment, which cracks me up every time I see. The entertainment is
lunatic soup.
So if you would like to see the entertainment, it is us. We are it. It is the entertainment.
We just post for the camera. Okay, if you think I'm entertaining.
But we are the entertainment.
Apparently. We think we're going to try to do an Etsy session, and apparently I'm going up in the attic. I'm not going alone. I am not going alone.
Yeah,
someone has to sit with me.
Well, it can't be me because I have to run it.
It can't be you, but someone's got to go freaking up there with me.
I'll find someone.
Jess, you're coming with us,
yeah,
Jess.
Jess is coming in as our assistant anyways to come. We'll make sure she's got the camera, got all the things. All of my friends have already bought tickets.
Have they really?
They all bought their tickets.
Well, and that's more pressure for me.
Jenna and Roopy Roops, our official joke writer, will be there.
That's more pressure for me because I can talk to people I don't know, but if it's people that I kind of know, it's like.
Well, you see, the other night we were all at my parents' house, and I told them that we were the entertainment, and we all died laughing because it was just like funny that we're the entertainment, like. Because it just when you see the Eventbrite and it's like entertainment, lunatic soup, and we're like, I mean, but we are the entertainment, if you will.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Jenna and Rupert have said that I'm like the quietest person ever.
No, that's not true. Because Rupert is the quietest person.
I don't talk in public situations.
Well, this is why you have a lunatic soup before we begin, and then you're fine. A little icebreaker, if you will.
Do I get Mexican food at the place across the street beforehand?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. And before our investigation. That's tradition. While we stare at the building and anticipate what's to come. I'm excited. But anyways, so if you are in the area and want to come see us and want to see the entertainment, come find us. It's
that's
gonna
us.
be fun. We're all going to be dressed up. Excuse to dress up and just have a good time. It's going to be fun. And our thing is actually going to be really cool. And we will air.
Oh, it's going to be cool. Like, what we'll do is it's going to be cool. Am I going to lose sleep over it beforehand? Absolutely.
Yeah, we will. I believe that we'll record our storytelling of it and like put that in as a bonus episode, I think. Probably, but it's gonna. We're gonna say that tentative yes, but we have to see how it goes and decide if that's gonna work out. But I do feel like that would make sense.
Yeah, we're not sure. We were gonna try to have 2 episodes a month in October, like we did last year, but I'm not sure if we're gonna make that fly this year.
We killed ourselves last year, and it was worth it to get our.
Yeah, but we didn't enjoy spooky season.
We didn't. We walked away from it being like we didn't actually get to enjoy our favorite month.
Yeah.
And don't you guys want us to just have fun?
Yeah, and we already have a few events planned, so
there's a few things in the works. Well, we're just gonna bring our entertaining selves,
and do some pictures Apparently with a wig
and maybe a casket race or two. We're still debating on that one.
I'm ready.
I don't know. I might just sign us up. Mr. Boo Boo has some ideas.
Use my woodworking scales.
Do you want to hear what his idea is? He wants to make it a coffin that's not wood, that's like see-through, like the what's that plastic, the whatever, and then I would be a dead Snow White and you guys would be the dwarves because y'all are so short. He said,
I am not short.
How tall are you?
5'7".
Are you taller than me? I thought you were shorter than me.
No,
just
I'm
kidding. You're not short. Well, for Carrie and Shannon, they're dwarves.
They're short. I am not.
Snow White and the 7 Dwarves, not like that, because you can't say, isn't that bad to say the other? I'm not calling them small little people. I'm saying like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
Just keep digging that hole there.
But that's what it is. It's from the movie. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm trying to be politically correct, you guys. Help. SOS.
All right, take our mics away.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Get ready for spooky season because, it's our favorite time. It's our best time. It is when we shine and thrive.
If it wasn't so freaking hot today, we'd be in costume now. I had some skeleton jammies I wanted to wear, but it's too hot.
I ordered a shirt that has skeleton hands on my boobs.
On your boobs?
Yeah.
I thought you had one last year.
No.
Oh, maybe it was a piece
No,
thing.
I have that. Yeah, it's a rock on.
Yeah.
It's a rock on one, but no, I want one on. It's each.
Will it say boobies?
No, but we should make one that says
we could
that.
totally make some.
It says boobies.
Boobies.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a
Anyways,
lot.
all right. Well, get yourself.
We just gave a little bit of a sprinkle there of what's to come.
Of what?
I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. Oh, I get it. All right, you guys, get yourself some lunatic soup.
And remember, in this crazy world,
it's good to be a lunatic.
Bye.
Bye.